Hello, I'm Rabbi Elton from the Great Synagogue in Sydney, and this is Ask the Rabbi. Today, a couple of related questions about Shabbat observance. Is it possible or proper to leave the television on during Shabbat and watch it without touching the dials or the remote control? And second, is it possible to use the microphone on Shabbat? I remember asking a rabbi of mine when I was a teenager whether it was possible to turn on the television before Shabbat and watch it during the course of the day. And he said, yes, if you want to ruin your Shabbat. Shabbat is not just about the prohibitions, for example, lighting a fire or writing or driving. It's also about creating a sense of peace, a sense of rest, a sense of tranquility through the course of the day. And that is achieved actually by turning off not only our televisions, but also all our other devices which now crowd around us and fill our day for the regular part of the week. And so while it might technically be possible to leave on the television, it's very, very unadvisable unless there is some sort of emergency or crisis which requires us to know what's going on in the world, which sometimes happens particularly in Israel when they need to know when there might be an attack launched in a particular town or against the country as a whole. What about microphones? Clearly we use some electrical devices over the course of Shabbat. We leave the lights on Shabbat so we can read and we can operate well in a nicely lit environment. But in that case we are entirely passive. The light simply shines from before Shabbat until its end, and we do nothing to interfere with it in any way. We don't interact with the light, we just use the brilliance which it shines. Microphones are rather different. When we speak into a microphone, as I'm speaking now, it affects the electrical currents, it affects the technology which is being used to create the amplified sound. And so most microphones are not appropriate to be used on Shabbat. The Ep9 institution in Israel, which specializes in the interaction between technology and halakha and Jewish law, has developed a microphone which is kosher to be used on Shabbat. There is a divided opinion amongst the authorities today about whether it is in fact an appropriate system. Some say no, but many other people say yes. However, there's a further barrier to be overcome. To introduce a system like a microphone in a shul, for example, would require wide communal acceptance and agreement. To introduce into a shul the rather jarring sound of a microphone system, which might make people feel out of place, that something is going on which is inappropriate, which is in breach at least of the spirit of Shabbat, that step has to be taken with great care and consideration and after the emergence of a communal consensus. And so, although there are a few shuls around the world which have introduced a microphone, the Ep9 microphone from Israel, most have not, and the jury is still out on whether it's going to become widely accepted as an orthodox practice. Thanks for joining.